everybody, it's Scribe here. I want to welcome you to the worldwide leader in ABATE of Florida news, and also nationally recognized and award-winning podcast for ABATE of Florida. There it is right there. The Silver Spoke Award presented by the National Coalition of Motorcyclists. So thank you all for being a part of this community, a part of this podcast. And as you know, please hit the like button down below. If you have not done yet, please subscribe to our channel, make it grow, make more people get involved, see everything. Make this channel become available on YouTube and opened up to people of the non-motorcycling community in Florida. Maybe they might see it and help save a life. So your subscribing, your liking, may be the easiest thing you can do to save a motorcyclist's life. So what's stopping you now? So subscribe to Scribe. I wish I could say I could take credit for that little line, but nope. That comes from my dear, beautiful partner, Amadea. For those of you who have met her and know her, you realize that she is, and many people call her my external brain. She is the one with all the brains and the beauty. I mean, look at this. Nobody ever said I was beautiful. My mom says I'm beautiful. So anyway, thank you, Amadea. And subscribe to Scribe. In today's podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about the end of the legislative session. Talk about a few of the less controversial things that the legislature did. I don't want to hit the controversial things because I don't want this to be that type of a political podcast. This should just be about news of ABATE of Florida and motorcycling. So I won't touch on that unless you want me to. If I get enough people saying they want to hear my views, which why would you? I mean, I'm going to stay away from that. I don't need to touch that third rail. And also talk about our state meeting up in Tallahassee. And then I'm going to end it with a brief preview of an offshoot direction that this podcast is going to take. So our state legislative session ended. The legislative session is supposed to last for 60 days, but this time it went for 63 days because, as according to the rules of the legislature, the budget, which is the only bill the legislature has to pass. So according to the Florida Constitution, the legislature only has to pass one bill each session, and that is the balanced budget. So it did its job and passed a balanced budget. So when they get the budget all planned out and put together, there's a 3-day cooling off period that the legislators have to, once they've submitted the budget to all the legislators and all the Senate. They have 3 days in which they can look at the bill, make sure everything's okay, make sure everything's good. And then after those 3 days, they come back and then they vote whether to pass the bill, pass the budget, or not pass it. So that's why this session lasted 63 days, because they needed the 3 days for the cooling off period to come back on Monday and pass the budget. So it was a record-breaking $112 billion budget spending plan. It is the state's largest budget ever. It was approved on near unanimous votes and no debate on it because they wanted to get the heck out of town. Now, the legislative session does last for 60 days, but as we all know, that does not mean that the legislators are up there for 60 days. They generally, like 95% of the time, they do not work on Saturdays and Sundays until it gets crunch time. Then sometimes they have to. We also know, because we're up there on Mondays, usually when we go up for our visit, that most of them do not work on Mondays and Fridays. Those are their travel times. So God forbid they have to work on 5 days a week to pass bills. A little rant. Our bills that we had did not make it past the first committee. In fact, they did not even get brought up in the first committee. Lord knows that we contacted the chair people of the committees that these bills are supposed to go to. I sent out information for all of you, and hopefully most of you did it. Contacted these people with a brief email saying, please hear this bill, please give it a chance. But because they only work part-time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But since they are not having committee meetings usually on Mondays and Fridays where they could get more bills heard and give every bill a fair chance for a hearing, they usually only do it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then only for a certain portion of the time, because after a certain number of weeks, committees have to stop. So that way the bills that have advanced will have their time for debate on the House and Senate floor and move on according to that. But just think, if they worked Mondays and Fridays, more bills could get heard. That's also a double-edged sword. That means more bills will get heard. That means they could have a chance of passing bad bills. Imagine that. So anyway, our bills did not get heard, did not even see daylight, the chair people of those committees did not even care enough about saving motorcyclist lives to even let our bills get heard. But I will tell you one thing that they did, and you can rest assured. Note the heavy sarcasm. I will use sarcasm because they need it. The legislature, instead of protecting motorcyclists and vulnerable road users' lives, instead of letting us motorcyclists use part of the money that we give to the state, that only motorcyclists give to the state, to use that money for motorcycle safety and awareness for the community, which in every year in the past that we have gotten that money, motorcycle deaths have gone down. But instead of, doing that, the legislator had bigger things to do. In fact, one thing, and I think we can all agree, you will rest assured, you'll be happy, you'll be grateful for our state legislators, is they passed the bill, the law making strawberry shortcake is now, thank God, is now the official state dessert. Now, I know some of you are asking, I really like key lime pie, and I do like key lime pie. What about key lime pie? Well, my friends, do not worry, because back in 2006, the legislature got together and decided to make key lime pie Florida's official state pie. So now we have a state dessert, we have a state pie. But the state legislature is still okay with motorcyclists and vulnerable road users being killed. Thank God for the legislature and strawberry shortcake. So please, each time you have a piece of strawberry shortcake, think of how motorcyclists could have been saved. Happy Strawberry Shortcake, Florida. On the Monday after our state delegates meeting, which went really well, we had the first round of nominations for the state board, which there were no new nominations. The only people who accepted the first round of nominations were the current sitting state board of directors meetings, except for our state secretary, who is, by the way, Lynn Core, because she is involved in a very important race. She is running for Collier County Commissioner in District 2. So she's going to be busy, very busy doing that. And Lynn, we wish you all the luck. So all of you who are down in Collier County, please remember Lynn Core for County Commissioner District 2 and vote for her in the primary. That's going to be the big one. Like I said, primary races are very, very important. Do not forget about them. So she's have to think how much she can do, if she can do both, and how things are going. So, Lynn, we wish you the best of luck and Godspeed. So after the meeting, we had our ride to the Capitol. And I want to do a shout out to the law enforcement community up in Tallahassee, the Tallahassee City Cops, the state Capitol Cops. They provide the security and they lead us through. If you have not been on the run, it is an incredible run, and you know how the motorcycle cops, how they love it, because man, they tear past us to block upcoming intersections. They have a great time. I spoke to a couple afterwards, and they're all very professional, very polite, but you can see in their faces that they had a heck of a time doing that. So we want to appreciate them letting us tag along with them on their joyride. We get to park up on the Capitol in between the old Capitol and the new Capitol. How long does a building have to be there before it's not new? Anyway, so let's call it the historic Capitol, and then the big Capitol that, for those of you who are at the state delegates meeting and heard me talk about it, you're probably smiling right now in the description I gave the Capitol and, kind of what it looks like. Anyway, we have the courtyard there. We get there. We have our bell ringing ceremony to read out the names in honor of our lost brothers and sisters the past year. And then we were able to go into the Capitol halls and meet with the legislative trustees and their secretaries. As I've always said, they are the most important people. Be nice to them, and they will be nice to us. So I want to thank those of you who did make it into the Capitol and did walk around and did speak to your people. I appreciate that. In a new, like a offshoot of this podcast, I'm going to, now that summer's here and I get to take a little bit more time off, it is very rare for me to take 2 working days off in a row. So usually the best I can do is take like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So myself and Amadea, we're going to travel out, and I'm going to try to make it a point to visit all of the chapters. If there's any events that are happening, we'd like to go to those, like any parties you're having or events or educational things that are going to happen. We will try our best to make it to those. We do have a lot of chapters, and they are far stretched. So unfortunately, some of the chapters, just due to distance away from where I'm at, I doubt I will make it. But please let me know if your chapter is having an event, a party, or a gathering. Let me know, and Almadea and I will try to be there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spotlight each chapter that I can get to. Let ABATE of Florida know about your chapter, what's going on in your chapter, see some pictures and videos of the good things that you guys are doing, the fun that you're having. Let's start introducing each chapter to the community in a whole. Because unless you're a state delegate, you don't get to meet very many people from other chapters. So this is a way to reach out, let them know who you are, a little flavor of your chapter. So I'm going to start doing that. So in effect, in just a few minutes, I'm going to be leaving to go to the Estero River chapter's legendary party. So I'll have that'll be my first one I do. So we'll look forward to doing that. So remember, subscribe to Scribe. Thank you, Amadea. Like this chapter, give it a big old thumbs up, and I will see you later. Bye.